G'day YouTube, my name's Lance and welcome to Bundy Bear's Shed. Well, the weather report. Well, we've got a touch of autumn or winter or something going on. Today they reckon 12 to 25, so it's starting to cool off a bit. Extra blanket on the bed, and I'll have to start wearing jammies soon. This morning, coming from the southwest, there's a bit of a sneaky breeze coming too, so it looks like the start of our winter weather coming, which is nice. You know, in the shed here, Bundy Bear's shed faces exactly north, and the double front door in summer facing north, as the sun's right overhead, the sun hardly comes in onto the concrete floor at all. Yet in winter, when the sun gets lower in the sky, it actually comes 20 foot in, comes halfway in. So, but I mean, so it gives us good light, and a good place to sit if you just want to have a bit of a kick back in the chair, as long as the dog's not using it, and then you're not allowed to have it, of course. But we do have little meetings about that, and tip her off, and away we go. I snuck into town for a bit of a tidy up, bit of a haircut and a tidy up. I was starting to look like the bloody wild colonial boy. And so I had a bit of a freshen up, and next weekend we're going to head down to Woodgate Beach. And after nephew Phil did away with himself, with the rest of the family, we're making a conscious effort to get together and stay good mates and stay talking and make sure everything's okay. So the two nephews that are minors, their days off together, because one works out Toorong and one works at Mara, and their days off together only line up about once every 8 weeks. So we're trying to, when we can anyway, we're going to try and get together whenever their days line up, and that keeps all the group knowing what's going on and chatting and just having a relax, and you know, over 10 or 20 quiet beers. You know, if something's troubling someone, it may come out or whatever. So next weekend, I don't know what the stew will be next weekend, whether I get to do one or whether I don't. The caravan park down there that we're staying at is a new one, and it's behind the Woodgate Hotel. Now, there's been one down south further. It's been there for years. Very popular place. Out the front, they've got a nice little cafe and things like that. And Woodgate Beach, it's on the western side of Wide Bay, and there's a few waves coming, but it's not surf like at Agnes so much. It's more gentler waves because it's protected by Fraser Island up the east coast there. So we're going to head down to Woodgate on, when are we going? Friday. Yeah, Friday. I'm going to sneak away from work. It's Monday today, and I don't normally work Mondays anyway. I try and spend it in Bundy Bear's shed here, but yeah, with the fellas, they've all got their days off Friday, so one's coming down Thursday and one's coming down Friday, so we're going to stay Friday night, Saturday night. Then the nephews are going home, and yeah, Judy and myself are going to stay one more night down there, taking the caravan down, and then Judy's going to come to work from there because it's only 40-50 kilometres maybe, and yeah, 50-60 maybe, yeah, it's not far. And anyway, so on the Monday, Judy's going to pack up and head to work, and I'll pack up the camp and put the caravan on and tootle home in my own good time, and have a great weekend. So look, I'm hoping to, I'll try and take the camera down the beach and show you a bit of our area once more, just to have you knowing what we're up to and where we are and all that sort of thing. So so I've been staying off the grog the last couple of weeks, so just yeah, so I'll be a bit thirsty when I go down there with the nephews. So with losing the weight and that, I'm trying to sew my mouth shut and stay off the grog and try and behave myself. So I'm still, I lost a couple of kilos this week, but I'm still not back down to where I was. I've still got a couple to go. So anyway, next weekend it'll probably blow that bugger back. But anyway, that's all right. Oh, pardon me. I've just been out watering all the trees and that big 1,000 litre IBC pod that I put the firefighter pump on and all that on them. I gave them all a good dose of sea salt this morning, which is a it's just seaweed concentrate sort of thing in the water. So coming up to winter, the growth will slow. We had a couple of showers through the week, and with the couple of showers that gave everything a bit of a spurt along, and there's a really nice crop of Rhodes grass out in the paddock at the moment. And, it's probably a metre high, maybe a metre, and nice seed heads. So what I do there is I wait until the seed matures and drops off, and then I'll go and slash the paddock and drop all the bulk of it down as mulch, so and look after next year's crop. So that'll be coming up. And this week I have made a little bit of time to get into Bundy Bear's shed here and do a bit of filming. So Saturday I have a mate that's putting a Holden 2.8 litre turbocharged diesel engine. It's out of a Holden Rodeo, and he's putting that in a grey Fergie, and I've helped him in the past with a few bits and pieces. But on Saturday we did axle bearings and seals. Now on the bench here I've got all the stuff set up here, and yesterday I got a couple of axle bearings and seals and that done and filmed for the 135 series, and we have a couple of good nice tractor runs coming up, so I thought I'd put a bit more effort into the multi-power tractor as well. So I popped the axles on the multi-power. I may do an introduction video on the multi-power yet. We'll just see how we go. And but anyway, I thought once I was set up to do the rear axles, I'd do the 135 6-speed and the 135 multi-power all together. So I've got them all stripped down. I've got two done. I've just got to assemble this one and tidy up and assemble this other one. So we're working away with that, but we have filmed one for the multi-power and one for the 6-speed. So on the playlist, even though it's the same job pretty well, it's just I thought for continuity of the playlist, instead of just filming one and putting it in each playlist, there is a couple of differences, not much, but a couple of differences. So so to give continuity of the playlist, I've done one for each, just so whoever's following the series can just follow it along. So hopefully I'll get those finished today. And I've had a big clean up in the shop. Last weekend I mentioned I was shifting tractors around and forklifts and things like that. So look, I've got all that done now. The tractor, the 35 diesel that was out the front, it's back in the shop now. And wouldn't you know it, I goes to heat the rings up on the axles here, and the regulator on my oxygen bottle had popped a diaphragm or buggered a diaphragm. And as soon as I turned it on, it blew the hose, blew the bloody oxy hose. So yesterday morning off into Bunnings and bought a new regulator and some new hose, because my old hose, look, it was getting long in the tooth, a little perished and all that. So we've got new hose on the oxy. So I'm actually trying to get a bit of oxy work done so I can take that big bottle back. So that's getting the axles done as part of that. And so we'll just work forward with it. But on the 135 multi-power tractor, like when I bought that, I just put the slasher on the back, and I must have slashed the paddock 3, 4, 5 times with it. I'm not sure, but look, it went like a train, no trouble at all. And anyway, I thought the other day, doing the axle seals and getting the axles out and that, I'll just drop the oil out, and well, you should have seen it. I actually have a little video. I'll put a clip on the back, and well, it was just sort of bloop, 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 bloop. Not much water, but it was slimy, and you get it on your hand and open your hand up and it sort of string out and web. And yeah, so how it was working I don't know, but I am going to get the top off and have a look at that. And the brake, where you have the brake shaft going out to the brake shoe on the left hand side. It had an oil leak there. If you remember, my little gold FE35 had a leak there, and the Welsh plug in there had come out. Well, the exact same thing here. So apart from doing the axles on the multi-power tractor, looks like it's hip off now. So that's the side where the diff is. So we'll pull the diff out. And I wasn't going to do that, but anyway, I was just going to, because it's been running well, I was just going to do axle seals and brakes, and I've got a new front axle, but I do have to pull the gearbox out and get that multi-power working and that. So anyway, look, it's got a bit bigger jobs than I thought. So there'll be a multi-power 135 multi-power playlist, and it'll just be the 135 multi-power project, and then I'm not sure I'll number it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like I've done with the 6-speed. The 6-speed we're up to like 60 videos on it or something like that. But let us know if you prefer to watch them as 1, 2, 3. When people are looking for a video on YouTube and they're looking for, say, 135 axle, well, they don't actually look for MF135 6-speed rear axle. They look for Massey Ferguson rear axle in the search engine. So for people doing a search, by not having it as part of a series will help in finding the search, but then letting people having number 50 or number 20 actually lets people know that they've come into the middle of a series, and they may go and watch the whole lot. So look, I'm undecided with all that. This YouTube, I try and have it so the channel works well, and I can get a couple of bob out of it as we go for the ads and all that. So watch the ads, keep watching the ads for me. And that's how we make $1 out of it. And look, you don't make a killing, but look at that. Well, it would have paid for the oxygen regulator and the hose yesterday, so that's a good thing. But yeah, look, we'll just see how we go with that. Our shop website, we had the meetings with that, and looks like it's starting. It's chugging along slowly in the background, and hopefully we can send parts all around the world shortly. Our eBay page, if you hop into eBay and look for, you can look for eBay stores, Queensland Tractor Spares, or just search for a Ferguson part or a Fordson part or something, and you'll see the Queensland Tractor Spares logo on a picture. And then if you go into there, you can click and have a look at our store. So I've just spent the last few evenings, I spent all day Friday, 5 hours Saturday evening, and about 3 or 4 hours last night, recategorising the Ferguson section for those that are into the Fergies. Before, I just had Ferguson and Massey Ferguson as the heading down the side, and when you went in there, you just had engine or cooling system or something like that. So I felt it was hard to find parts, and as the person running the eBay store there, I found it hard to work out what was there or not, because you go into cooling system and you see hoses for this and hoses for that and hoses for some other thing, and you think, oh yeah, that's all right. But what eBay does, when you look at a part and it says we've got 3 in stock, what eBay does is as you sell them, if you get to 0 and you sell the last one and you don't realise, they don't actually tell you that that part's gone. You can hop into the back dash and see it, but and what was happening was some of the parts were getting sold off, and we didn't realise to restock them again. So the stocks on eBay are never right, on our one anyway. When I build a new part, I'll put 50 in, or if it's a part that sells a lot, I'll put 100 in. So the stock levels are never right, mainly because I think at the moment we've got 12 or 1300 items on our eBay store, and you just never know. I couldn't actually see what was going on properly with it. So I've categorised them all. So now when you hop into Massey Ferguson, an instance of that parts dropping off is, I didn't realise till this morning when I was having a look that your Massey Ferguson FE35 diesel, your 4-cylinder diesel, there's no radiator hose or anything on there anymore. We must have sold them and they dropped off the edge. So now when you look at our eBay store, in the Massey Ferguson section, I'm going to work away at all the rest, but in the Massey Ferguson, you go to Massey Ferguson, and then when you open that up, the grid down the side shows you all our Massey Ferguson parts, which is just a jumble. But when you look on the left hand side, I've categorised it now. So there's TEA20, which is the petrol tractor, there's TED, the petrol Kero, there's TEF, the grey diesel. Then we go to FE35 petrol like Goldie, FE35 diesel, which is your Ferguson 4-cylinder diesel, and then you go 3565, which is the pre-100 series, then 100 series, which is 135 to 699, I think it is. No, 135 to 188. Then I've got 200 to 600 series, which is like 200 to 699, and then 1000 series, which is all the modern ones are 6000, 7000, 8000, but we don't concentrate on them a lot. There's not a lot in our area, but we do enjoy the vintage tractor scene and the parts with that. So so by opening it up like that, it's when you hop into Massey Ferguson, if you have a grey and gold like Goldie, you can go FE35 petrol, and everything from then on, like then it's broken down into engine, front axle and steering, paint panel decals, transmission and PDO, front axle and steering, things like that. So once you get to that section, you go across down here, hopefully everything's there for you eventually. It's not at the moment. I hadn't realised how some of the parts had dropped off the edge, and because I'm always putting a little odds and sods on there, new parts on eBay to keep it active, the numbers weren't changing a lot up the top end, so that tells us that parts were dropping off that we never saw. So go and have a look at our Queensland Tractor Spares eBay store. There's going to be a lot of changes coming up there shortly as I fill the gaps. So I thought it was better than it was. It's going to come up sparkling. So, and the idea is if you've got a TEA20 and you'd like to deal with us at Queensland Tractor Spares, you can hop in and find everything for your tractor easily. So another crappy section on the eBay store is Fordson, where we started off with a couple of Fordson parts. Excuse me, cold weather, my nose is just getting, not right, just anyway. And Fordson, we started off with a few Fordson parts and we just put them in there, and we never had the time or that to categorise it. So Fordson will get categorised shortly too, and we're trying to match our other websites. So the QueenslandTractorSpares.com.au website, well, it'll hopefully it fires up and changes, with the new changes in the next month or two. These things seem to take time. The eBay store, well, I can work with that as I go, and hopefully we'll just get a bit more, make it easier or more user friendly if we can. So a lot of business stuff this week, which is, I don't know, that's how I make a quid, I suppose. So this week it's Labor Day today, so the shop's not open today, and so it's a public holiday. So overseas, I think you call them a bank holiday. Anyway, perhaps it's a bank holiday, perhaps it's not. But so it's a public holiday. So Judy's home today, so that's why I've been up helping in the garden and bugging around. I actually slept in. Usually I'm up the shed here by 6 o'clock in the morning, but I was still laying in bed at 6:30 today, so bloody lazy bastard, eh? But anyway, that was good. I enjoyed it. And but look, I'll take you for a little. I'll see if I can show you what we've done in the shed here, and where I showed the floor the other day for the 6-speed with all the shit on the floor. Well, there's still some shit on the floor, but I've actually cleaned a bay, and part of today's job is to get that gearbox up ready to hit. When we get back from next weekend, we'll hopefully hop back into those tractors. I'm pretty keen. So while I'm putting parts together on the 6-speed, I'll probably be pulling parts off the 135 multi-power. But the multi-power, I want to do things like the tappets and all that. It doesn't need an engine. The engine seems to run nicely, but I don't know what the arse end's going to look like with all that gloop in it. So we'll see. But anyway, look, stay tuned. I'll take you for a little bit of a walk around, and I got all the mowing done last weekend, and the place is starting to look pretty good. And all the mowing and whippersnipping and all that sort of thing. Then my old man comes, he got a shipping container outside here with his gear in. There was a few weeds around the front, and he sort of mucks around with that. Well, anyway, yesterday he pulled them all out and chucked them out in the middle of the lawn. So now, I wish he'd put them in the wheelbarrow, but anyway, so now I've got to go and pick that up as well. So a few other jobs, and get the Triton over the back here. Can you see the? I'll just loosen that off. Yeah, you can see a car over the back there. That's the one the caravan will go on the back of just to go away. So if you remember, I had that little bloke working for me that painted Goldie on me. And well, anyway, one day I put a battery in the back there, and I said, drop that battery in and put those terminals on. Next thing I hear, thump, thump, thump with a hammer, and I raced. Oh, what are you doing? He says, putting the battery terminal on. I said, undo the bloody bolt. Anyway, the damage was done, so ever since that battery's always got corrosion and cauliflowers growing around the terminal. So I think what we're going to do is get that battery out of there. It's going to rust. I put a cradle and all in there, and it's going to rust that out. So I thought today I might try and deal with that as well. The battery's coming up 2 years old that's in there, and but yeah, that corrosion, it's no good. I'll pull that battery out, clean it up on the top, put a heap of grease or silicone or something around, and I'll use it in one of my old tractors where it's not going to be so important. So anyway, thanks for hanging with us. I'll go handheld, and I'll take you for a little bit of a walk around just to show you what's been happening for the week. Through the week I did make a couple of bushes for the TE20 where the seal goes on the TE20 PDO shaft. I've made a few bushes for them. That's about the only machining I've been doing. I haven't been doing much in that regard at the moment. I just haven't had the work to do, and I've had just shitloads going on up the back here. So anyway, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, do all that other stuff. Watch the ads for me, and we'll catch up next week, hey? See yous. Well, it's a bit hard to see, but look at the rubbish that come out of this gearbox. This is the multi-power gearbox. Look at that, just terrible, full of water. Yet when I bought this tractor, it had the oil level was right, nice and high, and with the oil level being high, I did my slashing with it probably 4 or 5 times, and the oil never mixed up and never got all filthy or anything like that. So yeah, so I don't know what's going on here. Both plugs, I've drained both plugs, and it's just full of rubbish. But the tractor was working fine. So anyway, there's a couple of things we have to do. Now when I bring the torch around here, I've popped the axle out, and I haven't filmed that because, well, how many times have you seen that? And if I can get you in there, you can see the glob still coming out of that back end. And can you see that okay? Yep. That's just rubbish, isn't it? And then down here, if we have a look where the brake shaft goes into the diff here, there's no plug there, that's straight through to the diff. So it looks like we've got to pull this trumpet housing off anyway. But it looks like we might have a little bit more work than we thought on this tractor, but the funny thing was the hydraulics have been working good, and we had to split it anyway to work out. I was talking to the bloke that did the job on the multi-power, taking the bypassing the multi-power, and he's just put the spacer in the bottom, so we do have to split it anyway. But yeah, sometimes you see things like that and you wonder, you think, oh boy, might be a bloody bucket of worms here yet. Okay, here's in the back of my Triton half pack to go away. I'm going to have to pull it all out and have a bit of a freshen up, I believe. But I'm going to slide the fridge out and get everything out of the back here today. And that's that battery terminal. Boy, look, I cleaned that up a few weeks back now. And look, it may be a couple of months back now. Time gets away on me here. But that needs a big clean up. That young bugger, God, he was a bloody nuisance. Anyway, nothing we can't fix. Okay, coming in the shop here, that's where the car is on the hoist, and I've got the gearbox ready to sit up on stands. I was thinking I probably should make a little bracket to go on the back here, bolt under where the drawbar is. That'd be a handy thing for filming. But I've had a pretty good tidy up here. The parts I'm planning on using reasonably quickly still here, but we've cleaned up a nice bay there to work on. So the multi-power tractor is over there that I've got the axles out of just at the moment, and if I come back over near the Johnny, that's our working space for the 135 to assemble it, inside that yellow line there. So we're going to put quite a bit of effort into that coming up. My bench got shifted to over here, so if I come back through here, that's where the 135's bay is there. There's my workbench, and here's the multi-power tractor. So that's looking good. Now if we pan around here, the John Deere 1640 is sitting here. Here's the boss. Hey, look at that. What a bloody dog's life, eh? Hey Brian, I don't know, I can't afford a big cast like Bailey's got, but anyway, the other one's here. Sansa. Hey, you a good dog? Look at that, she reckons she is. Tell you anything, these dogs. I've got a 44-gallon drum of oil here, and we're going to run everything on a Farm Plus oil. My mate, that axle there, my mate Paul, that's putting the Holden Colorado engine, the Rodeo engine into the TE20, he wanted a couple of rims the other day, so a couple of rim centres. So I had some on an old back end, so we've popped the axles and brakes and all that out. So I'm going to clean all that up. There's the mudguards over there. So we're going to clean all that up and get that where it should be. Now as we come in again, we've got the Farmall 100 over the back there. We've got the Johnny here. Up through the back, if I can hone in. Yep, that's a 35 4-cylinder diesel standard tractor up the back. Now in here, if I zoom it the right way, that's the 35 FE35 4-cylinder diesel with the glow plug head. Then up the back here we've got the Huey, we call this one. It's an FE35 4-cylinder diesel deluxe. Then I've got room for Goldie sitting here. Where are we? I'm just trying to get everything in. I've got the boat over the back near the door there. There you go, Wayno. My mate Wayne was going to, been that long since my boats got wet, he was going to come and chuck a bucket of salt water over it so it didn't die. And, oh, we got junk everywhere at the moment. They're Fergie wheels and... But anyway, look, the working area's tidy. Look at that for a big sucker, eh? Big 10 horsepower, International M, 10 horsepower. 1921, I thought. Oh, look, I wouldn't be sure now. I thought it might have been 1921 from memory. An International famous engine under there. I haven't done anything with my vintage engines for a while. A little 2 horsepower United. The John Deere sign that needs lifting up so people can see it better. and that's about it. Steel supplies and that. So, but all in all, the shed's looking reasonably tidy. How long it stays like this, who knows. But anyway, that's it. And while we're out and about, I just thought I'd show you, seeing as I mentioned it, the Rhodes grass in the paddock at the moment. You can see the seed heads on top there. It's just a lovely crop. Not that we grow up particularly, but it's just good to have it there. So once that seeds, we'll drop it down and we'll slash it. Now I'll show you something here that I've got to get rid of. Now this grass here, that's rat's tail grass. That's a pest here. I've got two fine specimens here. So that's a pest here. It gets in. Oh look, it goes mad if you let it go, and that's why I call it rat tail. But from a distance, it looks like a rat's tail. But yeah, the grass is that hard that it wears the cattle's teeth. So if it gets to where there's people growing cattle for feed, it'll bugger the cattle's teeth up, and so it is a pest. So I do have to, by law, I'm supposed to get rid of that, and I will. I'll go and what I like to do with it is mix up a little bit of Roundup, and I come along, chop the seed heads off so they don't drop the seeds, and they go in the bin or on the fire, and then we just round up the root base. But I'm always chasing a little bit of it here. We keep onto it pretty well. There's one there, and if we go just near the tree there's one there I can see too. So I'll have a look. There's probably some over the paddock, so if I mix up a bit of Roundup, I probably better do that before I do too much else. But yeah, just for those, I don't know, different countries have different things, but that's a giant rat's tail.